So what's up, y'all? I'm back with another My Perspective. So this one's called The Visit. So I want to talk about this. So like I said, I was on the block, before I got robbed or whatever. Like I said, there was people that visit me. I was visited before I got robbed and shit. So, like I said, my connect had came and visited me. My two cousins, two and Michael. But I had another cousin came to visit. His name was Michael. And he was from Charlotte, North Carolina. He came up to visit. And but this was like about 2 weeks before I got robbed. He came to visit and shit. So I remember he came up to visit. And came up to visit. And I remember he came and picked me up. I can't remember where he picked me up from. I can't remember if he picked me up from the block or from the house. I can't remember because it happened so long time ago. So he picked me up. So we rode around. Went to his boy house and shit. He had a friend lived in Philly and shit. Big heavyset guy. I can remember, but I can't remember where. I can't remember where we picked him up from, though. I can't remember. It was so long time ago. I can't remember. I totally forgot where the guy was from in Philly, dude. And but I remember he sat in the back seat and shit. We was riding around and stuff like that. And I remember we had visited my cousin's sister-in-law house and shit like that. So I remember him telling me that his sister-in-law mom died and stuff, and so he had to visit the house and shit. I think that was the reason why he came up there to visit. So, but he picked me up in the process at the time. We kicked it about a day or two, if I'm not mistaken, and he went back down south. So, check it. So about a week or two went by, and I got robbed. I get robbed and shit in the alleyway and shit, right? And so, remember I was telling you on one of the early episodes, telling you that I happily found my boots. And they were in South Carolina, Charlotte, South Carolina. And so, like I said, when they took the boots off me, the blood trickled. Right here, you can see right here. They, headbutted, pistol whipped me with the gun and shit, and then, the blood and shit dripped down on my boots. And so I never forgot that. And, like I said, the guy, he posted boots and shit on Facebook and shit underneath a Christmas tree and shit. I don't know what the fuck that meant, you know what I mean? Underneath a Christmas tree, you put the boots underneath a Christmas tree, like somebody wore the boots. And so, like I said, I assumed that my cousin Michael, he took the boots down there. Yeah, I think he did that. I ain't gonna say nah. I'm assuming he did that. Took the boots down there and dropped them off and shit. So I don't know. He lied and shit. Said he was gonna stay. I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna false accuse. You know what I'm saying? But I assume that he was the one that took the boots back down south. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget last time I talked to him and shit. He was like, I called him and shit on the phone one day and shit. You can see how you doing and shit. Talk to him and shit. I usually call all the time. I used to call him all the time and shit and talk to him. But he was like a little nasty last time I talked to him. He was like, And I heard him about to hang up. I heard him say, man, stay the fuck away from me. I heard him say that shit on the phone. So, you know, I took it serious. So I never called him back. I want nothing else to do with him. Nothing else to do with it. So, like I said, I assume he did that. You know what I mean? Took the boots back down there, and they got me robbed. He got me robbed or whatever. I don't know. But that was like one of the earliest visitations. You know what I'm saying? The people used to come through there. Like I said, people used to come through and visit, sit on the block and shit. And yeah, man. And so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to, add that to the story. And yeah, I don't know if he had, any connection with Nipsey or whatever, but I don't know. I don't think so. Probably did though. But yeah, but like I said, I don't want to false accuse. I don't want to say, you know what I mean? Just say it was him, but that's part of the story, you know what I'm saying? When when they robbed me and shit, he came beforehand, before it happened. Before it happened, he came, visit me. And so yeah, I just want to talk about that. So yeah, all right, thanks for listening.